by what number did we multiply or did we divide by to get to 6? Right, obviously 6 is bigger than 2, so obviously it means that in this case it's a multiplication. Right, so how did we get from 2 to 6? Which number can multiply 2 to give 6? And you're like, okay, I think 3, you can easily see that one. The 3 is the number that we can use to get to 6, right? Which means in this case, you multiplied this number 2 by 3, and then you got 6. And if you multiplied by 3 to get 6, it means in order for you to find the missing number, you need to also multiply by 3. Right, if you multiply 3 by 3, you will get the number 9, and that will be your answer. Let's look at B. Right, with B, you've got a ratio of 9:4. If you were told that the number 4 is then increased to the number 20, then what you should ask yourself, okay, is what number did we use to multiply or divide by to get to 20? Okay, 20 is bigger than 4. All right, if something is going to increase, then we need to multiply by a certain number. Right, so you might figure that very easily and say 4 times 5 is what will give me 20. It means that the missing number there, that we should get it by multiplying also by the number 5. So what we do on the left, we do on the right, or what we do on the right, we do on the left. So this is going to be 5 times 9, which is going to give you the answer of 45. So that will be your missing ratio number. Let's look at C. Right, with C, you can see that you have a ratio of 6:8, right? And then you are told that 8 has been increased to 12. Then what will number 6 increase to? Now, here, the first two, A and B, it was pretty easy to find which number we multiplied by to get to the final number. But as for C, it's not that easy. So how do we deal with numbers like C? All right, so in this case, you need to use what we call the divide and multiply method. Let me put it here. Right, use divide and multiply method. Then how do we apply that method? Okay, so to find the number that we are going to multiply by, what we do is, for the number whom we have been given every data for, we will take the number at the bottom, right? So you take the number at the bottom, which means to get to from 8 to 12, what you did was you multiplied by, you take what? Bottom number. So it's, you multiply by bottom, divide by top. Right, what do I mean by that? Which means we actually here, we multiplied by the number 12 divided by the number 8. So think about it. If we take 12 over 8 and multiply the number 8, the 8 will cancel and we are left with number 12. Okay, so which is our answer right there. So if we multiply the number by 12 and divided by 8, we should do the same thing on the other side. So we will say, okay, how can we get there? Okay, we should also do the same thing. Take 12 over 8 and multiply that side as well. So we will say 12 multiplied by 6 to get our answer, and then divide by 8. So if we take 12 multiplied by 6 and then we divide by 8, right, we get the answer of 9. Right. This one you are not going to get it that easily, so you are not going to get a perfect whole number that you multiplied by, just like the A and B. So because even if you're to simplify 12 and 8, 12 over 8, if you simplify this, it will give you the number 3 over 2. So it's not always perfect numbers that you're going to get where you can multiply by or divide by. So the best thing is to always use the multiply and divide method. Take the bottom number, divide it by the top number, and multiply it on the other side. You will get the answer. Right, let's look at other scenarios here. Let's look at D. All right. A ratio of apples to bananas is 4:10. If a bowl has 15 apples, how many bananas are there? So you need to listen to the question. The question says the ratio of apples. So which means you start with apples. And then is to bananas. So which means bananas are on the right. All right, it's 4:10, which means 4 is for the apples and 10 is for the bananas. Now it says if now there is 15 apples, so which means the apples are now 15. Right, how did we get to the, we need to ask ourselves, how did we get to the apples? The apples are now 15, so what they're asking you is how many bananas will they be now? Okay, so what you will do, you will say, very simple, to get to how much bananas there should be, I know what to do without wasting time. I will take the given data, which is the data of the apples, and then I will multiply this side. I will take the bottom number, which is 15, put it at the top, and then divide by the number that is at the top. And by multiplying 10 with that number, right, that will give me my answer. Right, so which means you will say 10 times 15 and then divide by 4. All right, so if you do that, that will give you 37 and a half. So 37 and a half. Okay, so that would be your answer. It says the ratio of white roses to red roses is 9:12, right? If there is 6 white roses, how many red roses are there? All right, so you will write your ratios first. Okay, you've got white roses to red roses, and the ratio is 9 for the white roses and 12 for the red roses. Now you can pause the video and do this one on your own and see if you got it right. So here how we're going to deal with it. Okay, now there is 6 white roses. Okay, then how do we find the missing number for the ratio of the red roses? So we will do the same thing like we did on the others. Right, so we can see we've been given the full data for the white roses. So we will take to get to the answer, we will take the bottom number, which is 6, divided by the top number, which is 9, and we multiply all of that to the number 12, which is the ratio for the red roses. That will give us the answer. So if we take 12 times 6 divided by 9, so if you say 12 times 6, you are going to get 72, and you divide by 9, then you are going to get the number 8. What if you had 3 things involved? What will you do? Like in this case, a fruit punch is made of 3 oranges, 5 apples, and 8 mangoes. If 15 apples are used to make a fruit punch, how many oranges and apples were used? So you need to write your ratios nicely. So you will write your oranges is to apples, and then is to mangoes. Right, so the ratio for oranges is 3, is to the ratio for apples is 5, and for the mangoes is 8. All right, so you have been given all the data about the apples. How many apples have you been given? You've been given 15 apples. Right. So how do you deal with this? How are you going to find the missing numbers? Okay. So what you will do is you will go on the one side. You will say, okay, if I am going to get the missing numbers there, so obviously you need to find the oranges and you need to find the mangoes. So you will say the given numbers are 5 and 15. I will take the 15, put it at the top, divided by the 5, which is at the bottom, and you'll multiply the ratio of the mangoes, and you will find that, okay, 15 over 5 is actually 3. Multiplied by 8, it will give you 24. And if you want to find the one for the oranges, you can pause the video and do it on your own. Right, obviously you will do the same thing, which is 15 divided by 5, and then you multiply the ratio for the oranges, and that is going to give you 9 oranges were used. So that is how you work out your ratios in a nutshell.